Interesting Chinese or Asian architecture here. Hola amigos, Javier here for Hum of the Earth, signing in from beautiful Villavicencio, where I was robbed at Knifepoint and almost stabbed. So the story starts a week ago when I first arrived in town. I had determined that I wanted to stay in the center of town. Because that was close to the mountains. And because I know it would be interesting staying in the center of town, having access to shopping and restaurants, etc. The bus ride here from Monterey took quite a bit longer than I expected because of construction work being done on the highway. So I ended up arriving close to dark, when it was getting dark. And as I was searching for a hotel, the first place I asked basically said to not stay in the center because it was too dangerous. And I was like, oh look, there's some paragliders over there that jump off the mountains here over Villavicencio. Anyways, so I thought that was kind of odd that he's saying the whole center was dangerous. And keep in mind, I've been traveling for years in lots of places that are considered dangerous by many. And I've only gotten pickpocketed a few times, my phone, wallet, never anything more than that. So it didn't really faze me, and all the hotels seemed to be in the center, so I was still decided on staying there. So the next day I decide that I'm going to go on a hike, get a better idea of my surroundings. And like most cities in Latin America, there's a statue of Jesus in a high point where you can walk to and get a view of the city. So that's what I went to do. And as I typically do on my way there, I asked for directions for the best way to get up there. And I was told to not go because it was dangerous. Now, normally a lot of people would say, okay, great, I'm not going. People swimming all the way down there in the river. But like I said earlier, I've heard that a million times, so to me, it doesn't hit the same. And yeah, I've traveled to lots of places that are dangerous and not too much has happened. So I decided to go anyways, but to keep a lookout. So I went in there nervously, and I did see someone in kind of the forest. But I don't hear him come towards me, so I decided to continue going up. And it's a pretty nice walk up. There's this huge abandoned amphitheater, which is kind of creepy. And then I see the Jesus statue, and up there's what looked like two men because they were sort of tall and one was wearing a mask. I was thinking, well, what are the chances that a thief is going to be wearing a mask? But then again, it does reveal your cover your identity, so it's kind of convenient in a way. They keep walking up there, and they kind of disappear. And as I get closer, four of them walk from behind the statue Now at this point, I definitely had some feelings that these people might want to rob me. But I've had those feelings again a million times, and every time it's just, I just have to tell myself that it's very unlikely. They're probably just normal people. So just as a kind of like a habitual instinct, I just keep walking towards them, towards the statue. And then as they get closer, one of them kind of like takes a diverging path to kind of block me in more so. And then I knew at that point pretty much with some certainty that they were going to try to rob me. And the first guy in front says something, and I just didn't really hear what he said, but I didn't like his tone. So I just say no and I start to walk away. And as I'm walking away, I can hear behind me that they're starting to run towards me. And then I turn around, and the two guys in front, which previously seemed to be unarmed, were now holding big kitchen knives in a kind of like this, like a stabbing manner, and they're running like towards me, full clip. And that's when I knew it was really happening. So I take my GoPro, which I had in my hand, and I toss it towards them, and one of them kind of scrambles to pick it up. And well, before that I yelled whoa, and I said okay. So I throw the GoPro, the guy scrambles to pick it up, and then I just lift my hands, and two of them like rifle through my pockets, like in a really like they were rats or piranhas, just viciously going at my pockets. And then one guy, or maybe both guys, pull on my backpack, but my backpack didn't come off because it was clipped in the front, and they actually almost dislocated my left shoulder. It still hurts days later. So yeah, so I unclip it, and as they're doing this, I mean, like, my eyes are open, but like I'm barely aware of what's going on. I'm kind of like in a state of shock a little bit, and all I can think is, don't stab me, don't stab me, just let me take my stuff and leave. And they do that, and as soon as they've got everything, they bolt, they just start running. And I sort of start running after them just to see where they're going to go, thinking that maybe if I get the police and they can start looking for them right away, maybe there's a chance that they'll find them. But at the same time, I don't want to get too close to them, because as one of the guys who was like in the front, as he was leaving, says something like "Yo te casi muerte," which means I almost killed you, I guess in reference to when I started walking away. But the way they were running away made me feel not sure as if they actually would have, but I did the right thing. You don't want to risk your life for belongings. I'll get to what those belongings were in a second. But anyways, I sort of start chasing after them, but not trying to get too close to them. But I kind of lose them. They go into the forest. So I run down the hill and begin looking for a law enforcement officer, a police, which I typically try to avoid in most countries, just because I'm afraid of them robbing me. But in this situation, I'd already been cleaned out. I had lost my GoPro camera, my Sony Handycam camera, my cell phone, my backpack, which had my hiking boots, and my best pair of pants for hiking, like cargo pants, as well as my prescription sunglasses, and of course my wallet and headphones. So what did I have to lose? So I eventually spot a police car and wave it down, and he stops, and I start telling him the story and he seems super uninterested. But at the end of the story, he says, okay. Takes out his radio, turns it on, starts playing with it a little bit, and he's like, yeah, it doesn't work, no signal. So I'm thinking at this point he just doesn't care, I guess. Anything short of murder is not really important, especially if it's a foreigner. That's what I'm thinking to him. But he says, okay, go to the next park here, a little bit in front, and my partners will meet you there. And I was like, okay. I thought he was just telling me to go F off in a way. But I go to the park anyways. I wait there for maybe a minute or two, and sure enough, 2 cops show up on one of their motorcycles. And I started explaining them the story. They start taking down a bunch of information. Going through the, the procedures here, I guess. Then a police van shows up. And one guy comes out. And I didn't understand everything that he said, the guy who came out of the van. But seemed to be kind of like upset with me. And I was saying what I did understand was like, you need to ask people where it's safe, and basically this is your fault. And then I asked them if they're going to go look for the people who robbed me, and they talk but like quickly, and I don't really understand what they said. And they basically say, well, yeah, they're already gone. I kind of agree with them. I'm like, yeah, we've been waiting here for 20 minutes, taking down my information, of course. And anyways, they say, okay, well, you're good, you can go home. And I do go back to my hotel. And I start to change all my passwords, log out of different services and stuff remotely from my computer. And then I get a knock on the door. And the woman says, there's someone to see you at the reception. And I go to the reception, and sure enough, the 2 police officers that I was talking to at the park, who were nice, but I didn't think that they would actually do anything. One of them was holding my credit card that was in my wallet. I was like, and I got really happy, like, oh, maybe they found them, maybe they have my stuff or something. He said, is this your credit card? I said, yeah, that's my credit card. He says, yeah, we found it. And I say, is that the only thing you found? And they say, yep, that's it. So I asked them, well, are you going to keep looking? And they say, probably not. I said, all right, well, I guess thanks for that. And I wasn't actually super happy about that. If I had to pick one thing that I would have been the most okay with losing, would have been my credit card, because I have another credit card and a debit card that I keep in the hotel, so wasn't much of a gain there. But better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, so in total, lost over $8,000 worth of things there. And definitely some lessons learned about this new phone that I'm shooting this video on right now. So leave me a comment letting me know how you think it looks and sounds and everything. And I just decided that given that camera cell phone technology is really improved and the price has gone down, like this phone here is a Poco, which is made by Xiaomi, Poco X3. It's like $200, and I mean, it's not as good as a GoPro, but I think it's pretty close. So this way, if I get robbed again, which very well could happen, it won't be as much of a devastating blow financially. So going forward, I'm going to be very careful about asking if places are safe, like specific places. The walk that I'm doing right now up to Buena Vista, I asked if it was safe, and people said yes. Most dangerous thing being cars, because there's not much of a shoulder here, but that I am pretty used to. So I'll be doing that and just being more selective about where I'm hiking. Like these eastern plains of Colombia here seem to be quite a bit more dangerous for robberies than Boyacá, the department where I was before. In Yopal, I got many warnings about hiking alone. I did do quite a bit of it, but nothing bad happened. And in Boyacá, I did a lot of it. I went over 20 hikes, but people kept telling me that the people are really nice here, and they were more like small towns, and I never felt in any danger. So you have to ask locals about safety. So I'm not going to say that Colombia is dangerous in general. You just have to inform yourself about different areas and stuff like that, because you definitely don't want to get robbed at Knifepoint. Again, I lost over $1,000 worth of stuff. I could have been stabbed, and have maybe some mild PTSD from it. I do say mild, it's already getting better, but it's a thought that sticks in your head. That moment when you turn around and see those knives and you're just praying that you're not going to get stabbed. It's definitely a little scary. But I'm thankful that I was mostly unscathed. Minor shoulder injury aside. So here in Villavicencio, I'm not going to be doing much hiking. So I'm not going to be pushing it too much here in Villavicencio. Probably only going to make a few videos of the city, like a city tour in history, maybe a tour of the downtown, and maybe a video of the nearby town of Restrepo, which has some waterfalls and abandoned salt mine. So that sounds pretty interesting. Of course, I'm going to check if it's safe. And if you've been enjoying the channel and you'd like to help me get over this mild depression of losing 4 months of YouTube income in a matter of a minute, I have a link to my Patreon in the description below the video, as well as some playlists of other videos in Colombia, of this time in Eastern Colombia, as well as other videos I made 3 years ago bicycling through the country. Both those playlists are in the description below the video, and I have playlists for all the countries that I've visited and bicycled through, available on this very same channel, Hum of the Earth. Alternatively, if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I've been, so bicycling through Latin America, through Eastern Africa and Eastern Europe, that interactive map is available over at my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. Where you can click on the different locations and see the various blog posts and videos that I've made of those places. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures through Colombia and beyond, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe out there.